The next time you board an auto in Bengaluru, think twice. The man driving you could be a serial rapist. On Monday night, an unsuspecting 25-year-old woman boarded an auto from this very spot, UB City in the heart of Bengaluru. But little did she suspect that the man fearing her would turn around and call himself a serial rapist and threaten to make her his next victim.
Driver was in an inebriated state and demanded for more money from her and also threatened her that saying, I quote, "I am a serial rapist and you are my next victim." The horrified lady, what she did was immediately the auto stopped and then the driver snatched her purse away and pushed her to the ground. Before that, the victim managed to click pictures of the accused.
Police have registered a case, but 4 days on, no arrests have been made. Mirror Now investigations also revealed how auto drivers in Bengaluru outrightly disregard the law that makes it mandatory for them to display their name and details in their vehicle.
I'm right now standing here in front of this one auto. As you can see, this particular auto does not have driver credentials at all. When we spoke to this particular driver, we clearly understand that he did not in fact put up the driver credentials, which clearly states the name of the driver, including the license plate of that particular vehicle.
But the State Transport Minister has a rather absurd suggestion for dealing with this issue.
So what are the security measures that are in place so that women who take an auto is safe?
First of all, auto should be clean. It should be neat.
Yet another minister makes a mockery of rules put in place to secure women. Even as every other day, another instance reiterates just how unsafe our cities are for India's daughters. Mirror Now report.
You're watching the Urban Debate on Mirror Now. I'm Fida Souza. Thank you for joining us. When was the last time you or someone you love took an auto or an auto rickshaw at 7 p.m. in the evening? We do it on a regular basis. The story that came out of Bangalore is shocking, and it could be any one of us. Shocking and disappointing, viewers. A young lady stepped out of a very, very high-end mall, UB City in Bangalore, and got into an auto rickshaw in the middle of the city at 7 p.m. in the evening, when we know that any city is chock-a-block with traffic, which means that it was not late at night, it was not in a soft or quiet part or secluded part of the city. This is the heart of the very heart of the city. The auto driver told her that the meter was not working and he demanded a certain price for the ride. When she refused to pay him, he said, "Hand over the money or I will rape you." He then went on to say that he is a serial rapist, that he has raped a lot of women, and if she doesn't pay him, she will be his next victim. He snatched her purse from her arms and threw her out of the auto and drove off. Now here's the unfortunate thing. The victim took photographs, blurry as they may have been, of the driver and handed them over to the Kabad Park police station, where she filed a complaint. The police have yet not been able to establish who this person is, and they have not made a single arrest. The reason why I'm bringing this up is it could be you or me. It could be someone we love. To make matters absolutely worse and to rub salt in our wounds, the Minister for Transport, who is responsible as an individual for safety in public transport, made this statement to our reporter when she spoke to him today. She asked him, what are you doing to make sure that women who take auto rickshaws are safe? He said, the rule says very clearly, the auto must be neat and clean. Is it possible that this government has absolutely no understanding of the problem at all? A 15-minute investigation by our team who just walked around the city found that a lot of auto drivers did not have their badges, they weren't wearing uniforms, and they did not have their licenses displayed on the back so that customers know who they are. Which means that there is a brazen disregard for the law in the city of Bangalore. And that makes me very, very concerned. What's worse, it seems to be a brazen misunderstanding of the situation within the government. who don't really understand what's going on. We keep talking about stronger rape laws in this country, but this arrogant auto driver boasts that he's a serial rapist and his customer could be the next victim. What does this tell us then about the rape laws that our country is so proud about? Are our women really safe? That's the question we're asking this evening. Are you safe taking public transport in any city at all? Why is the track record of auto drivers so abysmal in all of our cities? For those of you who are watching in Chennai, we know that the stories in Chennai are shocking. In Pondicherry, in Hyderabad, in Delhi, in Gurgaon, in Noida, auto drivers have committed crimes and barely ever come to the book. Joining me on the show this evening, Nagaraj Yadav, representing the Congress party, as we're going to ask why auto drivers are not being brought to the law and why does Bangalore have such a bad track record. Tanveer Ahmad, spokesperson of the JDS. Anuja Kapoor is a lawyer, a criminal psychologist and a social activist, joining us from Noida. Sujay Kantawala is a very senior advocate, joining us in Mumbai. ND Mulla, former DCP Crime, Bangalore. Deeptha Rao is the advocate with the Alternative Law Forum, and Saira Shah Halim is an actor and an activist. I welcome all of you to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Nagaraj Yadav, please tell me why R. Ramalinga Reddy, who is the Minister of Transport, believes that keeping an auto rickshaw neat and clean is the answer for the question, how will you make women safe?
Yeah. See, I don't know the exact question what your reporters asked him, but he must have spoken about keeping the vehicle clean. I am coming to the issue very clearly. Whatever happened on Monday evening, every citizen of this country should condemn it, and the government of Karnataka is committed to nab that guy. He may be running around, but he cannot escape from law from Karnataka's hands. We will not allow such things to happen. Tomorrow it may happen to that girl. Today it's happened to that girl, and tomorrow it may happen to my daughter or my sister. This cannot be tolerated, and I'm telling you, promising on this channel, that driver cannot get away from this law. He has to be fixed and he will be booked under the law. What has been the FIR is registered against him. The serious action will be taken against the person who has committed such a crime.
Well, let me point out to you, Nagaraj Yadav, and because you said you don't understand what question our reporter asked, I'll play it out for you. But in the meantime, I also want to point out that the victim in this particular crime has spoken to our colleagues at the Bangalore Mirror and said very clearly that there was no license displayed in the back of the auto, that none of the rules were being followed. This person was drunk, was driving an auto at 7 o'clock in the evening. One second. Drunk, driving an auto at 7 o'clock in the evening off MG Road. And he picked up a passenger. He didn't have his license displayed in the auto, which means that there's a lot of corruption happening on the roads of Bangalore, where you're allowing these sort of people to ride autos. And now you're telling me you're going to make a promise. How are you going to ensure that promise is kept?
Now I understood. No. Now coming to this particular case, I am telling you, if he has not displayed his credentials of your driving license, it is a crime. And if he is drunk and driving, it is more serious crime. No doubt about it. There are thousands of autos in Bangalore. Law is the enforcing agents are there. Maybe this is the one guy who has escaped. We cannot allow him to go on like this. Nobody can take law into their hand. Whatever has happened is wrong. Because I am not justifying these things, and if he has not exhibited his driving license details with his photograph, that is also a crime. And if he is drunk, that is serious crime. We will not allow such things to happen. There are some people, there are some elements who are coming. There are so many things happening. The people coming from other states also driving the autos here for their livelihoods. The problem has come here. The Bangalore is collecting the people
making this a question of linguistic chauvinism and blaming people who are coming from other states. Please. There is a law and order machinery in Bangalore that is meant to do its job. Every time I ask you a question, you tell me people are coming from other states.
No, you should understand.
This is your inability to maintain law and order in the city. This has nothing to do with people coming from other states.
I am an Indian. Madam, I am an Indian. I welcome everybody to come. But everybody should follow the law of this land. That's what we say. If the driver is not followed the law,
Sujay Kantawala, very helpfully, Mr. Nagaraj Yadav is reminding us of the law. Yeah.
Nagaraj ji, this is all very nice to hear, but there was a reporter who went to an auto rickshaw and that auto rickshaw scurried away, that driver, because she pointed out on camera that he was not having the required necessary. So how are these auto rickshaw drivers roaming around?
And this is not some corner of the city, Sujay. This is the middle of the city, which means that there are police officers or there are constables who are seeing this and doing nothing about it.
So let me tell you, there is a shock that a woman is thrown out, her purse is snatched, and then she is threatened with rape. This man, 4 days have passed, this man has not been located. This man should have been arrested. Cognizable offence has been noticed. You are supposed to arrest him after lodging an FIR. You are not doing a favor to anyone. This is the law of the land. Since you said you are Indian and the law of the land applies, then please use the law. Please use the law and show that you are acting. Please show your bona fides. Thereafter, thereafter the minister comes and says, and straight away instead of condemning, he says auto should be clean and neat. That was not the answer what we expected. The answer was within 24 hours, take it from me that I locate this person. The minister was responsible. He's the transport minister. He should have said that. So that is what we expected.
And he should have said that if there's anybody, Sujay, driving an auto in Bangalore without his license displayed very clearly in the back of the auto, the minister will crack down on him immediately. Eddie Mulla, former DCP crime of Bangalore City.
Ma'am, let me tell you.
Go ahead, Mr. Nagaraj Yadav, we're listening.
You're not allowing me to talk to ma'am.
No, please go ahead, we're listening.
Ma'am, see what I'm saying, it is not only auto. Let it be Ola, let it be Uber, let it be any vehicle, let it be bus, let it be anything. They cannot drive they cannot get away from law, they cannot drive a vehicle being drunk, they cannot drive a vehicle without a license,
they cannot drive
but
they obviously can, because that's what they're doing.
Driver's details. That cannot happen.
They should not, but in Bangalore they obviously can.
They cannot. One or two cases might be getting it.
We'll monitor it. I want to ask Eddie Mulla this question. Mr. Mulla.
The police is searching for this guy.
Police is searching, obviously not doing a very good job. Mr. Mulla, this individual was drunk. This individual was drunk, riding an auto without a license.
It is very, very unfortunate. It is very unfortunate that this incident has taken place in Bangalore particularly, but auto rickshaw drivers in Bangalore are generally notorious. There are several complaints, but unfortunately what has happened that we do not have the track record of these drivers, most of these drivers. There are about 1,90,000 or precisely or 2 lakh auto rickshaws driven by about 6 lakh auto drivers. All these drivers are they come from a very lower strata of the society. I'm not blaming that on them. They're required to be well behaved, and police are taking a lot of action to tame them and to make them understand the law.
Why are you behaving like these human beings are animals?
With all these efforts, because of their
you are talking about these people like they're animals. They come from let me just repeat what you said, Mr. Mulla. You said they come from a lower section of society. They need to be tamed by the police. Now, whatever it is your vocabulary is, which I take strong exception to, whatever it is the police of Bangalore are supposedly going out and doing, they're failing at it miserably.
Please try to understand.
In fact, I'm going to
6 lakh drivers, and you're going to tame them.
We are trying to make them understand the law. They are tame in the sense please try to understand. Don't take out some other meaning from what I meant.
Everyone heard the word.
Please say it again. In fact, it was so offensive that I hope you'll clear what you said and explain to us what you meant exactly when you said they are from a lower section of society. We need to tame them. These were your words, Mr. Mulla.
They are not educated about law. The police is trying to make them understand the law and etiquettes of the law. That's what I meant. See, lot of programs are drawn. There is one, we have a helpline. In fact, police has a helpline just to complain against the auto rickshaw drivers. But nevertheless, day in and day out, there are a lot of complaints against auto rickshaw drivers. I'm not defending them.
So
but
since the taming lessons have failed, the taming lessons have failed, now pick up some of these guys and take action. Pick up some of these guys, take action, show to them what the law is, convict them, and make a lesson out of them so that they don't harm other women.
In fact, let me Sujay rightfully pointed out the visual of our reporter who went out today and took a look at a couple of autos. Let's run that visual for our audience one more time. Tanveer Ahmad, I see your hand come up. Let's run that visual for our audience. There's auto number 1. There is no license. There's auto number 2. Here she's walking up to a third auto. There is no license displayed at the back of the auto. Tell me now, and this is Richmond Road. Tell me now, where is this police that is taming?
And he's charging for the advertisements which he has displayed on his auto.
Where is this police that is taming? No uniform, Where is this police that you're talking about that is taming? Now, for the benefit of our viewers, let's play out the bite of Mr. R. Ramalinga Reddy, full with the question, so there is no doubt about what the question was and what the answer was and what the follow-up question was. Let's listen to what the government thinks for when auto drivers turn around and say, I'm a serial rapist, I will rape you if you don't give me money. This is the answer from the government.
So what are the security measures that are in place so that women who take an auto is safe?
First of all, auto should be clean. It should be neat, and a driver should have a license, and he must wear a uniform. He must display the police. They will give a card. In that, his photo will be there, and all the details will be there. These are the major things, and at the time of FC, our RTOs and our inspectors, transport department inspectors, they instruct these people to follow these rules and behave properly with the public also. They should not talk rudely. They must give respect and take respect. That is a policy, no?
License is given, they know the law.
Yes, absolutely. And here's now my question, Sujay Kantawala, is uneducation justification enough to not follow the law in our country?
No, because the minister himself said that this is one of the tests that he has to perform, and this is common sense. You can't be rude with your customer, and you have to follow certain rules. When you obtain a license and give a test, you are supposed to know what the law is. So therefore, therefore it doesn't make any difference which strata of society you come from. And when the police, because auto is open, it is not closed like doors and windows and all, it's open for all the police people to see. So the high time that they have to take action and set some examples, only then these people will understand what the law is.
Deeptha Rao, advocate at the alternative law firm in Bangalore. Deeptha Rao, if this person has a license that is linked to the auto, and let me point out also the victim in this case took a photograph of the driver, took a photograph of the number plate of the auto and handed it both to the Cubbon Park police station. Shouldn't the police have been able to trace this person by now?
Definitely, and that really does speak to the question of why impunity seems to be the norm these days. The reactions of our law and order systems are so inept that the idea of deterrence and the idea of safety of women in public spaces is quite lost. So I think it's a very valid question to ask. However, at the same time, I would not advocate or suggest even any sort of offenders registry, as I think was pointed out, or I think the discussion was going in that way from earlier comments, simply because we do draw a line at one point between law enforcement and another line at all, again, when we're talking about criminality. But if you're talking about the efficacy of the law enforcement departments in Bangalore particularly, I think that's the main reason why offences like this become the norm.
And I also want to bring in the other two voices on the panel right now. Anuja Kapoor is a lawyer and a criminal psychologist. At the end of the day, Anuja Kapoor, the reason why this sort of thing happens is because people have either no respect for law enforcers or no respect for the law.
I would first introduce the criminology in this part. What happened was, as we look at the offender, why did he get away with it? Now let's understand why did he get away with it. Look, now he could be from the outside element, an outside jurisdiction, state person, but that does not help him. The thing is, before, around when he must be, driving the auto, he has been familiar with the laws around which he is moving. So first thing is, when you are familiar with the law and order in that state, you know that you can exit. That's what happened here. Now, second part where I come is, why did he use these kind of language where he is trying to coerce the person who is his own client? Now, what happened is, the girl was there, he wanted money, he wanted to, this is a case of an extortion. He wanted to talk to the girl and take out the money from her. Now, what would be the easiest way of taking out the money is coercing the person with rape. Now rape is for him is just a word, but for the girl who is listening to it is a horrific story. Now what happened is, when he just says this, that is not only enough. If you will ask him right now if he is going to be apprehended, what he will admit, I'm telling you, what he will say, the criminology of this is, he is going to say, oh, I just wanted the money and I wanted to get away with it and she was not giving, so I said, I'm going to rape you. That's the way of threatening her. And when she thought that I'm joking, then I said that I'm a serial rapist. Now when you will listen to all of this, there is a bell which rings in you when the girl who is listening to it, how should I save myself? So the first thing is, she would like to get it extorted. So that's what he did. He snatched it. Now he knew that there is a weak law and order in that state. So he took an advantage of it and he just walked away casually with it. And he knew that somehow or the other,
I want to bring in Tanveer Ahmad.
He would not be the only one.
Tanveer Ahmad, the couple of things are true here. First of all, that this sort of criminality of auto drivers is peculiar to Bangalore. Bangalore has a chronic problem of completely arrogant auto drivers who slap customers, who molest customers, who treat them badly, who extort money out of them. They do all of these things. They particularly, we know, treat customers badly if they do not know the local language, which is completely unacceptable. Now, Tanveer Ahmad, why is it the government is allowing these auto drivers to give the city a bad name in this fashion?
Faye, actually there are two parties for this problem. The first is the inaction of the government in the past cases. As we all know that, the loose statement which came from the Transport Minister is not for the first time. The Home Minister in the past, when there was something, a similar incident did happen in Bangalore on New Year Eve, our Home Minister, Honorable Home Minister also made a loose statement like this. Here, the problem is multi-layered and multifaceted. I'll just tell you one thing. There are 2 lakh auto drivers. If the government decides today, and the police decides today, they can be cultural ambassadors of the city. Samskritika Rayabharigalagbodu. They can really be cultural ambassadors of the city. But it is absolutely total inaction. Either police are very, very violent against these auto drivers, or they are very stringent by taking 100 rupees or 200 rupees and letting this off. The total blame, whole and square, I would blame it on the government, which has absolutely done nothing to whatsoever to auto drivers. Even if at all you have no license, you can drive, just pay 100 rupees. If you have no badges, absolutely no problem. Even when somebody makes a very, very serious statement like, I am going to rape you, I am a serial rapist, the entire state government should have taken an action. The entire police should have taken an action. Here we see, even after 24 hours, there is no arrest. We don't know where this auto driver is.
And the police here in this case have his license plate number, the auto license plate number, and a photograph of the criminal, and they have not got him. The FIR that has been registered by the Cubbon Park police station is for robbery and molestation. Jay, they've left like at least 4 other offences out.
And to add to what Tanveer is saying, that there is absolutely no record, no register. You pay 100 rupees, you can drive an auto, then you can go somewhere else, again come back, drive. So what are we seeing over here? We are seeing chaos.
He was driving drunk, that they've left out. He was extorting the passenger, that they left out.
He threatened her with serious
crime, that he left out.
These are all cognizable offences. He should have been immediately arrested. That's the law of the land.
You know, and let me just point out to our audience here, and this is just Bangalore.
One thing, let me just tell you one thing.
One second, Tanveer. One second, Tanveer.
One small statement, Faye.
Okay.
One small statement.
Let me just read this out. February 2017, a woman identified an auto driver who harassed us. The person was, he was using a fake license plate and a lost driver's license. January 2017, auto driver tries to rape a patient in an ambulance. This is all Bangalore. January 2017, software engineer and her brother-in-law were assaulted by auto drivers in Marthahalli. January 2016, woman finds a camera in the auto filming her. The driver tries to rob her and take her phone. April 2016, Bangalore-based journalist is called indecent by an auto driver because she was wearing a knee-length dress. June 2015, An alert woman finds a person in the luggage bay behind her in the auto after she got into the auto. Now add to this other shockers of Bangalore. MG Road on December 31st, Kamanahalli December 31st, and of course Kartiguppe, that video that we've all seen, 2nd of May 2016. The government has let down the women of Bangalore repeatedly. Babu Rao is on the phone line from Bangalore. Babu Rao, go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening.
First, my congratulations for your channel on a daily basis bringing up the issues of governance in Bangalore. I am a 65-year-old head of MNC, and I have been living in this state.
Yes.
When I listen to Tanveer Ahmad, I feel I am so ashamed. Let us not keep blaming the government. What has Mr. Kumaraswamy done? He is promoting himself with a movie. What is Ishwarappa doing? He is trying to promote with Royal Brigade. There is no governance. There is absolutely no governance. Traveling from JP Nagar to KR-Puram on a daily basis, where I administer a school, it takes 2.5 hours. There is a failure of traffic.
Yes.
And every nook and corner, I see police collecting their mammon. And this person has been doing this from 2013. I want to ask Tanveer Ahmad, what has he done during his governance? Second thing, what is the opposition doing? They go on a dharna for a month.
Caller, sir, you are not an anchor of the event, sir.
No, so Tanveer Ahmad, he's a citizen. Tanveer Ahmad, as the anchor of the show, I allow citizens to ask questions. It is perfectly within their right to do so, and he asked a very valid question. If you don't have an answer, let him know that you don't have an answer. There's no reason to insult the citizens who call on this show. Malati is on the phone line from Chennai.
Can I come in now, please? From your end.
Malati is on the phone line from Chennai. Malati, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, Malti, go ahead. I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm calling from Chennai and I'm a lawyer.
Yes.
See, of late we see that either the politicians or the police are not bothered about governance. And they don't have a clue as to solve any problem, let alone this problem or any problem. So, the only thing is they have to equip themselves. These police people have to equip themselves to deal such issues. But they are equipping themselves only with the politicians. We hardly have anyone on the road to see the citizen. On the other hand, if a politician is going by that road, you see hundreds of police standing.
Can I come in, please?
Yes.
And please, hello, I have one suggestion to all the ladies.
Let her finish. Let her finish, Nagaraj Yadav.
As soon as you get into a transport, whichever it is, a cab or an auto, please take a photo of the driver and send it to your family or a friend. Also forward the details of those vehicles. I think only we ourselves have to take care of ourselves. These people are not going to do anything at all.
Right. You know, I just want to point out one thing. That's a very good suggestion, Malti. But in this particular case, the photograph was taken, given to the police. Nothing was done. You cannot take a photograph of the credentials of the driver if it has not been displayed as it's supposed to be displayed. Now, I want to bring in, I want to bring in Saira Shah Halim. Thank you so much for waiting patiently, Saira. But this is the thing. It falls back on the women repeatedly to protect ourselves. The onus is that we have to be constantly vigilant. We have to watch out and be afraid of every auto driver, every police officer, every person across every street corner. That's a horrible way to live in any city. It's exhausting.
Absolutely. You know, I'm glad that you are actually rolling this entire initiative and you're making the public aware of what is happening. Because earlier these cases were considered trivial. Okay, if an auto driver has threatened you, it's all right, it's not a big deal. But now, you know, the fact is that people are taking cognizance. Not only that, is becoming national news, which itself means that this matter is being taken very seriously, where you know, people, drivers or auto rickshaw drivers, they become sex predators and they try and intimidate you just because you're haggling for money or whatever it is. It just does not justify anybody to threaten a woman and tell her that I am a serial rapist and you're going to be my next victim. Is absolutely uncalled for. And this needs to be condemned in the harshest way possible. Now, what is another initiative that should be really commended is the citizen journalist initiative, where people just take out their phones and they see something happening, they upload it on their social media sites, and then the mainstream media takes cognizance of what is happening. So I feel right now what needs to be done is to create more awareness and ensure that naming and shaming continues, because that does act as a deterrent, as we have seen that this lady had the foresight to take up the picture of this man who was driving the auto rickshaw, so that anybody can track these serial offenders who go around talking obscenity.
Well, that's fair. The police have been very cagey about the details. The police have not come on camera. They've not given us any responses. They have not shared the photograph of the individual. They have not showed us a copy of the FIR. They've been very, very cagey, Sujay, almost like they have something to hide.
Absolutely, because they are taking haftas. They are taking haftas from all these people. As Tanveer just said, so you pay 100 rupees and you can drive an auto for a day. But so what happens every time a woman boards an Ola or an Uber or an auto? Does she have to start taking photographs? Has she to live in a complete state of paranoia? I mean, what is this fear factor all the time? Everywhere a woman goes, she has to start taking photographs and send to all the groups that she knows that, look, now I'm sitting in an auto. Is this the state of affairs that we have come down to? It's shameless. It's totally shameful and demeaning.
Yeah, exactly. I am with you.
Thank you, Sujay. Thank you. It is shameful and demeaning.
Why should she take a photograph?
We have a team of very young people who have joined us straight out of college. Gentlemen, I want to share this story with you. I asked them, how do they stay safe in public transport? They said, one of them said, I share all the details with my parents. The other one says, I want some privacy. Why should I constantly share details of my life with my friends and my parents and people who might be at the other end of the city? Am I never safe? What a valid question. Are we never safe? Mr. Nagaraj Yadav, I have to ask you a very simple question. Very simple question. How was it that a completely drunk auto driver...
No, madam, before you could ask
How was it that a completely drunk auto driver was allowed to stand in front of UB City at the auto stand and pick up a customer? Where are the police, Mr. Nagaraj Yadav?
Ma'am.
On VIP security.
Madam, one thing I want to, before coming to your question, I want to answer something to you. This is what people are trying to defame the Bangalore city. It is not correct. I can give you some statistics for you. You should know. The crime in India is published by National Crime Record of Bureau of Ministry of Home Affairs has given very clearly the crimes committed in other cities also will be taken to picture and see.
You should
in
be
Bangalore, I'm not justifying. Bangalore or Karnataka has got 4.7%.
You should be ashamed.
Mr. Nagaraj Yadav, do not attempt to out-Google me. Nobody loves the city of Bangalore more than I do. Nobody is more pained by what is happening in Bangalore than I am. It does not give me joy to have these conversations night after night, I promise you. Nagaraj Yadav, solpa keltira.
It's called as a rape state.
A present attempt to
This is wrong.
defend the city. Bangalore is not the only city.
Are you two are men?
No, this is not.
When have you ever been molested? Has anybody grabbed your private parts? Tell me.
You understand, ma'am?
The both of you, have you ever been molested in the city of Bangalore?
Bangalore. It's not only in Bangalore. It's happening all over the country.
Oh, so
the law is same all over the country. We have to fix these guys who are doing that kind of crime.
So you should be taking care of your state.
Don't defame Bangalore. Don't defame Karnataka. This is not correct.
Talk about your state.
Nagaraj Yadav, Bangalore belongs to all of us. You are not some custodian of the city of Bangalore.
That is the reason
Because of this, the police is also corrupt.
Bangalore,
madam, if all the people talk together,
Yadav, do not turn this into a political battle. Nagaraj Yadav, I heard you out and your needless political... I heard you out in your needless political defaming.
No, I've told you. I'm not...
Madam,
I've not told you. Give me a patient hearing for 1 minute, please.
Go on. I'm giving you a patient hearing.
Please give me 1 minute time, please. Recently, the Home Minister of Karnataka has uploaded one of the mobile apps, you know about it, and we have introduced the pink police. Only 1 minute a girl can just give there's a mobile app which you can inform the police within seconds. The police people will come within 15 minutes time. Her parents will be informed she's at risk. And the local police will be informed within seconds. It will be informed. There are so much of technology has been used in Bangalore. It's the first time in the country we are using a technology to save the women in Bangalore. We are giving buses. We are giving public transport so much. I am being the chairman of public transport, BMTC buses today. I am telling you, we want to give the best of the buses in Bangalore to avoid such crimes. We want public to use more of buses, more of public government-owned buses, so that we give the safe transportation to the people. One thing. Now let me complete.
I've heard you out, Mr. Nagaraj Yadav. Your 1 minute is up. I have given you a patient hearing. Now, let me point out to you. Let me point out to you that Bangalore belongs to all of us as much as it belongs to you. You did not answer my question, Mr. Nagaraj Yadav. Please calm down.
Of course. Don't defame Bangalore. I beg with you, don't defame Bangalore. This is not correct. You all always want to target Bangalore, which is not correct.
That is not true. You obviously don't watch my show every day. We talk about every city. Yesterday we were talking about Mumbai. The day before that we were talking about Navi Mumbai. The day before that we were talking about Delhi. We talk about all cities. Mr. Mulla, calm down.
Why don't you talk about other cities also?
We
Today
talk
I am
about
telling you,
cities
these
every day.
drivers should be punished, no doubt about it. The cases have been registered.
You did not answer my question. First of all, Mr. Nagaraj Yadav. Mr. Nagaraj Yadav, if you please listen for a second, then this conversation will make sense. Calm down for a second and listen to the fact that you
allow everybody to talk who can defame Bangalore, but you don't want to allow people who govern Bangalore.
Okay. Answer my question, Mr. Nagaraj Yadav. Why was there a drunk auto driver without a license riding an auto rickshaw in the auto stand outside of UB City at 7 o'clock in the evening at rush hour? Where was the police?
Faye, please try to understand. Police cannot be there at every inch.
I'll ask you one thing. Can the
yes,
no, I'll ask you.
That is why the
Can I ask you?
You want to ask me a question? Ask me a question. Ask me anything, Nagaraj Yadav.
For 2 lakh autos, there should be 2 lakh policemen.
Yes. No, I'm not asking a question. Can I answer the question what you asked me about why others are talking in between? I want to know how many 2 lakh auto drivers are there in Bangalore. You expect all the police to check all the 2 lakh auto drivers all the time, all the minute, whenever
Since you asked me that question, 1 second, Nagaraj Yadav. I expect that when, 1 second, Mr. Nagaraj Yadav, pipe down. When there is an auto driver drunk out of his wits without a license taped to the back of his seat in an auto stand, yes, I expect the police to pull him over. He's in the auto stand. He's not somewhere in Kamanalli where you don't have a police officer. In the auto stand, at MG Road, at Vital Malia Road, you don't have a single police officer there? Are you honestly telling me? Now let me ask you a question, Mr. Nagaraj Yadav. Let me ask you a question. Nagaraj Yadav, let me ask you a question. You're talking about defaming Bangalore. Have you ever been molested in Bangalore?
How do the policeman know every driver is drunk or not?
Have you ever been molested in Bangalore? 2 men are sitting here telling us that we are defaming Bangalore. Let me tell you, I grew up in that city. I know how much molestation happens on the streets of Bangalore. Don't teach me. Men do not know what Bangalore is really like. Saira Shah Halim, go ahead. Saira Shah Halim, go ahead.
I'm not justifying any drunken driver to drive
an auto. Justifying everything.
I will just request my co-panelists.
Your reporter must have gone to the place that there is no policeman.
Now, sir?
This is not correct. This is not the way you present Bangalore city.
Can I speak, sir?
This is not the way you govern Bangalore city, let me remind you. Ms. Halim, please go ahead.
There is no point going ballistic. Sir, there's no point. Sir, there's no point going ballistic about Bangalore or any other city, because as you know that the channel is looking at each city as incidents of violence.
Listen to her, Mr. Nagaraj Yadav.
As incidents of violence come into limelight, it's got nothing to do with Bangalore. It's got the topic today. The topic today is increasing incidents of violence against women. It could be anywhere. It could be in Delhi. It could be in Mumbai. It could be in Bangalore. It could be in Chennai. It could be in Hyderabad. So here, nobody has an agenda here. They're just, talking about Bangalore. There's no agenda here. Here we are trying to address a larger discussion about women's safety. Why don't we look at it that way? And most of the women these days are college girls. They're working women.
I have a small suggestion.
Nagaraj Yadav,
they take Uber,
to the gentlemen of this panel, if you want to talk about treating women with respect, I will thank you to please listen when a woman is talking. If there is a woman on this panel making a point then the gentlemanly thing to do is to listen to when you're doing it again. Listen to when she's making a point. She was very respectfully making a point. Why can't you hear? Why can't you take it? Why can't you hear when a woman is making a point? What is this constant need to constantly interrupt women when they're talking? Here you do it again, Mr. Nagaraj Yadav. Calm down.
Not interrupt. You're not giving me a chance to speak to me.
Calm down.
Okay, give me a time. Let me speak.
I will give you a time when all of the women are done speaking. Deeptha Rao, advocate of the ALF.
Let's not take it personally.
Deeptha Rao, go ahead.
Yes, it was a very interesting point that Mr. Yadav was focusing on, talking about how an app was introduced. However, it's still a very, very difficult thing for a woman to actually enter a police station in person and register an FIR or even file a complaint without being treated as horribly as possible. So it's an extremely patriarchal system, one. Secondly, when you're talking about accessing public transport, why is it that DMTC has revised its bus fares in such a way that it's inaccessible to the urban poor, including urban poor women who have to travel long distances just to get to work and back? Also, the Bus Bhagya campaign has very, very strongly advocated doubling the bus fleets and halving the bus fares. So if you're talking about access to public utilities and amenities and transport, why is it that all of these efforts are commuter unfriendly? And finally, it is extremely condescending to be on a panel and listen to mansplaining repeatedly when we're trying to have an open and honest discussion. So I would honestly suggest that if we are to move forward to any sort of conclusive discussion and outcome, we remain civil. That would just be my humble request.
That's a very good point.
May I say something?
Yes, Sujay.
His argument that there should, do you have to have one policeman for every auto? That's not the way he should respond to this issue. He should be magnanimous enough to say that I will install the fear of the law in every auto driver and I'll see to it that only the licensed auto drivers ply the roads. That should have been the response which should have come. The response should not have been kind of a hitting back by saying that, do you want a policeman for 2 lakh autos? It's not possible. Please don't make this kind of a statement. You are an experienced person. We value your opinion. You should come out and say to all the people that, look, don't be afraid. I am going to see that every auto rickshaw driver fears the law and this will not happen again. That should be your response.
Anusha is on the phone line from Mumbai.
Please, can I come in? Please, can I come in?
Let me answer this, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, let me answer, ma'am.
One second. Nagaraj Yadav, I will give you an answer immediately after this. I'll give you time to answer immediately after the citizen has spoken. Anusha, go ahead.
Yes, I would like to state that all the licensing authority should first ensure that the auto wallahs, they should not only look at the credentials, they should also be constant throughout the country where you have an interaction. You should create a fear, first have an interaction, a sort of training session for all the autos and cab drivers where the fear of law is instilled in their mind and they should learn to respect people.
Yes. Okay, let me, I promised Nagaraj Yadav I'd give him an opportunity to respond.
Please, can I come in?
Yes, ma'am. Just Nagaraj Yadav, very quickly respond, and then I'll go over. Then I'll go over to Anuja. Nagaraj Yadav, very quickly, go ahead.
Very quickly, I'll tell you, ma'am. The previous to one of the panelists suggested saying that there should be fear among the people who are misusing the law. Yes, definitely I agree with that. Every citizen, whether it's auto driver, whether it's a bus driver, whether it's a taxi driver, or anybody, should follow the law. They should have a license. They should know how to behave. Otherwise, they're not fit to drive. And the government has to commit it. Let it be any government. Not only because I'm a congressman, I'm saying that. Any government basic requirement is to put a fear in the people who are taking law into their hand. I acknowledge the panelist who said this. Second thing I was talking about, the people are talking about public transport being very costly and things like that. I have been telling you, after I took over the chairman, I have reduced the cost of public transport. I am increasing the number of buses in Bangalore. Not even from past 3 years, not single buses purchased. We have placed more than 3,000 buses orders. In my regime this year, we are going to introduce 5,000 new buses to the people of Bangalore with affordable cost. Even in the Olo buses, I want to reduce the prices of cost because of the safety reasons. In our buses, we are going to give the cameras, panic buttons.
Yes.
We are going to give a mobile app. We are going to give...
Thank you. It is, sir, please. Sir.
What I'm saying, last 1 minute, madam.
Sir, please let me allow.
Please allow me to speak now. You're just making them again. Anuja, please go ahead. Anuja, I'm giving the floor to Anuja. Anuja, go ahead.
Yes, I would like to put it through that whatever he is putting it, that he has a cup. Sir, please. that there are many buses and there are Ola buses, whatever is being there, that's really good. What we require right now is, as it has been rightly said, that we cannot appoint a lot of policemen everywhere, but what we can ensure is that of the quick response. The problem is what we are looking into is the quick response. Once, if it is that something has been given to the police, they are not able to actually apprehend the offender. They are not able to figure it out. So what we require is a quick response from the police so that they can, the apprehender cannot go out of the state or go somewhere in the hiding. Now, putting up into a lot of public transport and all, there also the problems can happen. So what we are looking into is the weakness of the law enforcement. That is when we are not able to implement it. The laws are perfect and absolute. We don't need to change the laws.
Yes.
The implementation which we keep on talking about is, that is the major problem where we are lacking. And in this case also, the problem is we have every proof, but we are not able to apprehend the person. Why? Because there is something or the other. There is a
They should immediately have a crackdown on all the illegal and unlicensed autos. What Tanveer said, pay 100 rupees and drive an auto. That should not be permitted.
Yes.
Your autos will go down by half. If this is the scary situation over there, how will you trace him?
And also, Sujay, let me point out that auto drivers in Bangalore are brazen in this manner, because they know that if a policeman walks up to them, they can get away with it by giving him a 100 or a 200 rupee note, and they will never check. That is why this auto driver was so brazen, and at 7 o'clock in the evening was drunk completely and decided to do this. Let me also point out, as I wrap up the show this evening, I have to wrap up the show this evening, Tanveer Ahmad. Unfortunately, I've run out of time, but let me respond as a citizen of Bangalore. I grew up in that city, to this constant accusation that I am defaming my own city. This is not different from telling a victim that you are dishonoring your family or you are dishonoring your house if you go and complain about a rape or a molestation. This is not different from that, saying that तुम्हारी घर की लाज क्या हो जाएगी अगर आप जाके रेप के बारे में complain करोगे. This is the same argument that the government of Bangalore is giving us today, which is hide the story. Don't talk about it. You will remove the honor of the city. You will change the large of the city. That is not the way to solve the problem. The way to solve the problem is to acknowledge it, to talk about it, and to fix it. Not by brushing it under the carpet for some false sense of pride that you might have. Our great city is on its knees because half its population is on its knees. Because the women of Bangalore are not safe. And it's not okay for a group of men to come on this panel and tell me Bangalore is safe because you have never been molested on MG Road. You've never been groped on Brigade Road. You have no idea what you're talking about. You cannot tell me that I'm defaming my own city or any other city or this is some vendetta. We're bringing to you a problem that is rampant. What you need to do is own up to the fact that you have failed and fix the problem. We're watching very closely to see whether the government and the police in Bangalore manage an arrest here, because you have all the details. You have a photograph, you have a license plate number. It should not take you more than 24 hours. If it's taking you more than 24 hours, it's because either you're lazy, inefficient, or you're corrupt. None of those three things will do. We're watching very, very carefully. If you don't make an arrest, you are defaming the city, not me. Thanks for watching.